Alright, this is a video for problem number 2 on the moles to mass stoichiometry practice. I'm going to work through the entire problem, so if you already got to a certain point and you don't need help at the beginning, you can always, of course, skip ahead in the video. So, if we look at the problem, it gives us a balanced chemical equation. So let's see, we've got lead 4-sulfate reacts with lithium nitrate to produce lead 4-nitrate and lithium sulfate. So the question in the document is how many grams of lithium nitrate will be needed to make 3.25 moles of lithium sulfate. So we want to know how much of this do we need to get 3.25 moles of this. So looking down here, let's answer some of these questions. What do we know? If we look in the problem, to answer the question what do we know, easy way to do that is to look for the number. And we see that, they've given us that we are trying to make 3.25 moles of lithium sulfate. So that's what we know. That's the number they're giving us. What do we want to know? We look for the question word. And in the problem, the question word is how many grams of lithium sulfate? That's the question phrase. So we want to know how many grams, and then we also need the substance. Lithium nitrate. My bad. Lithium nitrate. Do we need? Alright. So we've taken the problem, we've broken it down into the important information to be able to solve this problem. So let's go over to our graphical organizer and see how we should be going about solving this problem. We know we have, so for all of these problems we're doing today, I recommend putting the substance that we know on this side and the substance we want to know on this side. So we know we have lithium sulfate. We know how much we want of that, but we want to know how much lithium nitrate we need to make that. It's like making cookies. You want 50 cookies. Well, how many cups of sugar do you need? So that's what we're doing here. We know how much of this we need. We should need to figure out how many of the ingredients we need to do that. So, let's see. We know 3.25 moles of lithium sulfate. So lithium sulfate's on this side. We're starting in moles here. And let's see, what do we want to know? Grams of lithium nitrate. Well, lithium nitrate we put over here, and grams is a measure of mass. So we see already that, again, just like the last problem, and just like the next 3 problems on this assignment, we're going to go from moles to moles, and then from moles to mass. And we're going to do this as 2 conversion factors in 1 problem. So, now that we've got the question broken down and our roadmap sort of outlined, let's start setting up the problem. We're going to take what we know, and that's going to be our starting value. So we're going to take what we know, it's 3.25 moles of lithium sulfate. And it's going to need 2 conversion factors, and we know it needs 2 conversion factors because to go from moles to moles, we cross 1 arrow, and to go from moles to mass, we cross another arrow. That's 2 arrows, that's 2 conversions that you already know how to do. So, our first conversion is a moles to moles conversion. So that's a mole ratio we're going to need. Let's see, we're going from moles of lithium sulfate, that's where we're starting, moles of lithium sulfate, so we know that needs to go on the bottom. Where we start goes on the bottom, and we see that that would cancel out, so we're setting it up correctly. And we're going to moles of lithium nitrate, where we're going goes on top. So this first arrow is only taking us to moles of lithium nitrate. That's not what we want in the end, but it's going to be the first step. Now, it's a mole ratio. We know it's a mole ratio because we're going from moles to moles. We're going from moles to moles. So, to fill in a mole ratio, we always look up at our balanced chemical equation and we look at those coefficients. That's why we learn to balance equations, because we need to be able to get those coefficients if we gave you an unbalanced equation. So you can do math like this. So, let's start with the stuff on the bottom. We got lithium sulfate. Where's lithium sulfate up here? Oh, it's over here, and it has a 2 coefficient. So I'll put a 2 with lithium sulfate. For moles of lithium nitrate, we've got a 4 coefficient. So we'll put a 4 with moles of lithium nitrate. And that is our first conversion factor. We've got the units, and we've got the numbers. We've got both parts of the conversion factor. For our second conversion factor, we're going to look at our second arrow. The first arrow This conversion factor took us from moles to moles. The second one takes us from moles down to mass. So, let's see. This is moles of lithium nitrate. So we'll put moles of lithium nitrate on the bottom and grams of lithium nitrate on top. Now, when you go from moles to mass, we need to figure out the molar mass. And to do the molar mass, you're going to need to pull out a periodic table. So if we want the molar mass lithium nitrate, we pull out our periodic table and we have to look up each of these elements. We've got 1 lithium, let's see, 1 nitrogen, and 3 oxygens. You remember this 3 only applies to the elements right next to. So, I don't know lithium off the top of my head. Look up lithium on the periodic table to find its average atomic mass. And I'm getting that it's 6.94. And so 1 times 6.94 is 6.94. For nitrogen, we got 1 times 14, and that is just 14. And for oxygen, we got 3 times 16, and that is 48, I believe. Now, we need the total mass of lithium nitrate, so we're going to add them all up. We get 68.94. So, remember when we're filling these molar mass ones in, 1 always goes with moles, and 68.94, the number we find, goes with grams. Alright, so now we're ready to start canceling things out and seeing if we can solve this equation, or solve this problem. So, moles of lithium sulfate cancels out with moles of lithium sulfate because they're both on the top and the bottom. Moles of lithium nitrate cancel out with moles of lithium nitrate, and I think that's all that actually cancels out here. Now, I'm going to rewrite this and kind of push everything together into one fraction, maybe clean it up a bit, and it'll be easier for us to look at and approach. So we start off with 3.25, multiplying by, that canceled out, so multiply by 4, that canceled out, times 68.94, and this did not cancel out, so we keep grams of lithium nitrate. In the denominator, we've got 2. Moles of lithium sulfate canceled out. 2 times 1 is still just 2, so we don't even need to think about the 1. And moles of lithium nitrate canceled out. So it doesn't look like there's much in the denominator for us to work with. Now if I look at what we have here, I see that all of these are numbers, and we can easily put that into our calculator and solve it. So in your calculator, you're going to put 3.25 times 4 times 68.94 divided by 2. So I will do that over here, 3.25 times 4 times 68.94 divided by 2. I get 448.11. Now, as always, we have to check our sig figs. Looking back at our starting number, we started off with 1, 2, 3 sig figs. We need 3 sig figs in our answer. So starting from the left, I'm going to keep this first digit, second digit, third digit. That's 3 digits I get to keep because that's how many digits I have, significant figures I had in that first number. So we need to round to that ones place, to that 8. So our number is actually going to be 448 grams of lithium nitrate. We don't get to keep those last 2 ones because our first measurement wasn't precise enough for us to keep those last 2 ones. So that should be your answer for number 2.